and in pancake.
What's up, YouTube? I'm entering this film festival contest to make a video about my gaming laptop. Year after year, time after time on YouTube, we hear people saying not to buy gaming laptops and that they're a waste of money. I've owned two, and with a 50% success rate of the laptop not self-destructing, I can tell you it's a gamble each time you buy. Nonetheless, I believe that's a gamble worth taking. I want to show you why that is in this video, so without further ado, get yourself a cup of tea or a beer if that's more your thing, and come along for the ride.
This is the MSI GE76 12UE.
I know, what a catchy name, it just rolls off the tongue.
This model is one of the 2021 versions, coming in at about 17 or so inches and 8 or so pounds. That's a little over 3 kilos for those of you not using Freedom units. So you can imagine it's not the lightest thing ever. It's physically so huge that when I was working on my undergraduate thesis, my group mates and thesis advisor regularly called it the Beast, just off its size and unwieldiness. The display is, again, about 17 inches or so and IPS with a refresh rate of 144 Hz and resolution of about 1080p, so it's pretty standard for what you get nowadays. And I don't think anything looks bad on it. You know, there's not really any bad angles you could get, nothing like that. As for the specs, we're running something that's pretty good, you know, like mid-tier. Powering the Beast itself is an Intel Core i9-12900H with 14 cores and 20 threads. I don't really know how that maths, but whatever. Initially, the computer came with 16 gigs of RAM. I skipped upgrading to 32 and went all the way to 64 to really get the power I need day to day. Don't ask how many tabs I had open when I was working on my senior thesis. We were well into the triple digits. Lastly, we're running a laptop RTX 3060 with 6 gigs of VRAM, and this is honestly the computer's weak point. Supposedly it's full wattage, but honestly I don't really know, and the fact that this was the best computer I had owned doesn't really help me test that. This wasn't my first PC though, not by a long shot. My first PC was running an AMD FX 4100 and a GTX 750 Ti. After about 4 or so years, I saved up money to buy a Lenovo Legion 5 2020 laptop, which put me in a whole new ball game. The first time I ever used a 144Hz monitor changed my life. You literally cannot go back to fast-paced games after that. As far as this laptop goes, I wasn't intending to buy it originally, but that Lenovo ended up having multiple shorts on the motherboard, dead pixels on the display, and a host of other issues, and I got use out of it for about a year and a half before it was time to get something different. Which leads us to today, and I've talked about the Beast enough now. Let's go right into some performance benchmarks, shall we? My scoring is as follows. I would not consider something excellent if it could not hit those high refresh rates and take full advantage of a high refresh screen and monitor. All games will be run at a graphical setting that I would play them at and a resolution that I'll state each time. Risk of Rain 2 ran pretty well at 1080p. Of course, it slows down when you get to the point of the game where things spawn in and instantly combust, but definitely nothing consistently slow, and when it is slow, it's only for a second or two, and then we're right back to high frame rates. Certainly playable at 1080 or 1440, and honestly, I think I could play this at 4K. Risk of Rain 2 is extremely well optimized, and I definitely rank this very good to almost excellent. Minecraft Java Edition 1.21.6 really struggled. I couldn't get it to full screen, so I had to play it at 2560 by 1369, which is windowed. The settings I used were Biome Blend at 5x5, Fancy Graphics, Render Distance 16, Simulation 16, Clouds Fancy, Particles All, Entity Shadows on, Dist at 100%, Smooth Lighting, and Bitmap Levels 4. Upon loading a new world, it really stuttered when loading chunks and the world itself. And if I flew too fast in creative mode, it didn't love that either. The game also feels like it gives you input lag anytime it's slow, and I've noticed that with mods and other alternative launchers that doesn't happen. So you'd probably want to play this with Sodium or Fabric and launcher like Modrinth, or even something like just Optifine. You'll get a much better experience. Generally we saw a minimum of 17, though it certainly did not feel like it, an average of 148, and a maximum frame rate of 168. Off the frame times and stutters, I really don't think I can rate it excellent though, so I would say that's very good. DaVinci Resolve audio scrubbing is fine, just refresh it before you do anything. The first time I tried to get footage for this video, it just could not handle it. After ending its process in Task Manager and restarting, I could scrub the timeline for my most recent video totally fine. Roblox runs excellent on this machine, generally getting around, depending on the game, 130 to 200 FPS. As you can see from this video right here, I was able to box and send out all of the pizzas for the pizza place, and we're raking in that money. A medieval DX12 RTX on a balanced preset of DLSS at 1440p runs like a charm, consistently 100 FPS or over, and that's with reflections on. There might be an occasional dip when a lot of enemies are on screen, a ton of reflective projectiles, but overall I'd rate this good, and I wanted to put a more indie title on here that uses RTX to show you that yeah, it can kinda do it. I tried RT shadows on as well, but that kept us around 80 FPS, which is fine, but I imagine that when it gets hectic, that's gonna dip to the 40s. If you're gonna play with ray tracing, you probably just want reflections on and not shadows as well. So those are some good performance markers for you. You'll definitely be able to get your esports fix, any older games, emulation, and you can certainly run some newer stuff, but you might want to hold off on games like Starfield, Stalker 2, or Monster Hunter Wilds. I'll be the first to admit that I don't play the latest and greatest, so I can't comment too accurately on how this machine would handle new and blazingly modern titles, but I have been using it every day for the past almost 3 years now, and coming from an old AMD and GTX 750 Ti, I don't really mind if this gets a little slow in some games. With 64 gigs of RAM and more than solid enough processing power and a solid laptop GPU, this thing can handle anything I throw at it. When I started watching GHG, the idea of forming a sentimental attachment to technology always astounded me, and I swore I would never do that. This laptop has seen every side of me for the past few years, and it's been through some of the highest and lowest points of my life. Overall, if you're thinking about getting a gaming laptop, it's not the best investment. You can't really take them anywhere without the charger, they can make a lot of noise under load, and are often heavy and unwieldy. But after using one for almost 3 years, I don't really mind any of that. I can confidently say that you're doing a disservice to yourself to not at least take the gaming laptop market seriously. It's not 2015 anymore, they've come a long way, and they're not jokes. Sure, there are bad choices all out there, but you should always be researching before you buy.
I like my gaming laptop, and if you're watching this and you have one, I hope you like yours too.
That's all I have. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to vote for this video in the Greenham Gaming Film Festival 2025. A dank pancake out.
That was bad. React like it's happening to you.
What do you mean react like it's happening?
I'm like literally throw it over.